Hello everyone. I am back with a much different kind of video. I'm not going to be discussing a topic, more so just riffing on something that just absolutely baffled me the first time I saw it. A lot of you are looking for jobs, right? You know, some of you may be looking for jobs. Quite a few of you possibly also just have experience looking for work in this hellscape that the job market is nowadays. It's been tough for me too, by the way. So I thought we would just get a laugh at one of the job offers that have been sent my way. And you may be thinking to yourself, wow, you're lucky enough to have someone send you a job offer. Well, put a pin on that. Because random companies sending you job offers, you know, there's something that might be a little bit suspicious about that. So I'm not sure how many of you watching this video are in sales or customer representative types of jobs, whatever you call it. Office jobs where you just talk to people, either on the phone or over the computer. But I believe this is the kind of job that this is, or it might be different. I just don't know. You know, you're gonna have to follow along with me on this because this is probably the most baffling thing I've ever seen. So let's go ahead and discover together one of the worst job offers I have ever gotten this year. So it starts off pretty basic. Starts off kind of like a letter, you know, hi name. I'm not gonna reveal my real name, by the way, I'll censor that. Oh, I'm also not going to censor this company's name because I feel like they need to be named and shamed. If this is the crap they're sending to people that they want to be their prospective employees, I feel like this is just not a great company. I feel like I should put a beware on this place. Anyway, I work at Best Roofer Solar, and I came across your resume on Indeed. I think you could be a good candidate for our actor opportunity. Please let me know if you're interested. So, keyword there is actor, you know, someone that performs in front of people, typically on a stage, for a screen, like in a movie theater, on a TV, I don't know, on a phone. And the way they're gonna describe the role of an actor, it's gonna make your head scratch, trust me. So that's the opening message. Regards, recruiter. Not even a name. Not even a name to this recruiter. It's just, this person has designated themselves, assigned themselves by the moniker of just recruiter. Recruiter of Best Solar Roofer. You know, typically when you get a job offer, it is sent by someone that has a real person identity. So that's the first red flag we'll see here. And there's plenty more, don't worry. So, job details, job title, actor, company, Best Roofer Solar. We've already kind of gotten those details out of the way, but let's see what the summary has. Hopefully it has more for us to sink our teeth into. We are seeking passionate and talented actors with a capital A to join our dynamic team of roofing sales professionals. Notice the incorrect spelling of professionals. That's the second red flag that you're going to notice throughout this job offer, is that this person just does random little spelling errors and grammar errors as well, which is interesting. The ideal candidate will have a flair for performance, creativity, and the ability to convey I inserted a word there, sorry. And the ability convey emotions and narratives to engage homeowners with a capital H. You know, you need to use your emotions, the thing that God gave you, that you were born with, to sell things to people, manipulate them emotionally, give them a narrative, do it in the most selfish and money-making way possible to, quote-unquote, engage your clients, your customers, your homeowners. Sounds fun. Our average sales representative, okay, they're bringing in a different kind of job position all of a sudden. Our average sales representative, not actor, sales representative, that's that key difference there. Earn between, okay, sorry, every time there is a grammar mistake in this offer, it just stops my brain because why is it there? But actually, I do know why it's there, but we'll talk about that later. I'll read the sentence again. Our average sales representative earned between $2,500 and $5,000 per week. See, keyword there is average. That's the average. What is the low performing minimum that you earn per week. That's very important to know. What if you're just having a bad week and you're not doing good on sales? How much do you earn? Is there a minimum floor? Like, you can't just promise people what an average would be. You know, honestly, 2,500 to 5,000 per week? That is an insane range if that's just the average. I cannot imagine that. Let me pull out a calculator real quick. And here's the thing, if you are consistently earning between 2,500 and 5,000 per week, that is the difference between $130,000 to $260,000 yearly as a salary before taxes. That is your gross income. If you want someone that wants to make that much money and is talented in the ways of emotionally manipulating people to buy things from you, do not include spelling errors in your job offer. You know, the other thing is that they're probably lying to you, but let's put that thought somewhere else for now. In bold, professional sales representative opportunity dash are you a born closer with unstoppable energy and the drive to succeed. So I cannot think of the word closer. First of all, without thinking of 9 Inch Nails, but also that movie scene you probably know of where the guy yells,
"Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only."
You know, the movie that represents how people lose their goddamn mind when they let capitalism seep into their heads and dictate that basically making money is the most important thing. Personal lives, work-life balance, yeah, that's secondary. It's all about making that money, baby. Yeah, that's what I think of when I hear the word closer. And also, unstoppable energy. What is this? A green renewable resource? What is this, cold fusion? I don't think we have that right now. Wait a couple of decades, or never, depending on who's in charge of our government. It then continues. Are you a great actor with an A? That's capital. Searching for your breakout role and still need to make a living in between? So I can understand sometimes when you are sending out a document or an email that whatever client or software or browser that person is using, sometimes the formatting screws up a little bit, and sometimes you might accidentally not notice that, but it's better that you do notice that before sending out the email. But let's move on. Do you want to make a good living using your acting skills and closing deals? Now, this is a terribly worded sentence. Deal closing and talent acting, those are not words. Those are skills, but they're not words. They're not very worded out correctly words. You know, if you can tell what I mean, you know, do you want to make a good living using your closing deals? You know, the way you speak that out loud, it doesn't make sense. Acting talent means you have a talent in acting. Closing deals means you are closing a deal, you are closing those deals. You don't have a deal in closing. You're also not acting a talent. See the difference? It's weird stuff like this that makes me think something is wrong with this email. For some reason. It then goes on to boast some of the best actors with a capital A were in sales with a capital S before they became famous, such as George Clooney, Johnny Depp, Chris Pratt, John Hamm, no space between the dash, Sylvester Stallone, no space between the dash. So if you are a great actor with a capital A, I know I keep emphasizing that, but like, you don't have to have actor have a capital A each time. You really don't have to. And have high energy, excellent communication skills, know how to read and learn your comfortable talking to people. You know, when I think of high energy and know how to read and learn your, I definitely think of Johnny Depp or Sylvester Stallone. Imagine how much you could make. Yeah, they want you to imagine how much you could make. They're not going to tell you exactly how much you make, because that would involve some sort of like security in your job. That implies that there is a minimum amount that you will make even if you're the worst person there. That implies that you have some sort of consistent paycheck that gives you a livable wage. And I kind of get the implication that that's not guaranteed unless you're high energy and comfortable talking to people. Oh, also, this is a run-on sentence with no period at the end. So let's keep read it correctly. Imagine how much you could make call. Probably going to censor out that name and the phone number. I don't want to dox anyone too badly, you know. Best Roofer Solar is expanding our elite team of outside sales professionals across the DFW Metroplex and surrounding areas. I'm not going to censor out the location. DFW Metroplex is like
thousands
of square miles in area alone. That's anywhere from like Haslet to Seagonville. It is a huge area. If you genuinely think you're going to find where I am just because you know I live in the DFW Metroplex, good luck. Here's what we offer. Industry-leading commission structure, which we're not going to explain what that is. Paid training, weekly 650 draw. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Comprehensive training program, which is also paid. Or no, wait, maybe it's two separate things. Maybe they have a paid training and a comprehensive training. And it's like, you just gotta pick one, because why else would they like separate it like that? Company provided leads for qualified closers. I don't know what makes a qualified closer, by the way. Is that just a winner gets the spoils kind of a thing where like, if you're good enough, we're gonna guarantee you more stuff? Oh God, this is so competitive. This sucks. This is why I can never be in sales, because I hate the fact that you have to compete with each and every single one of your like coworkers just to get slightly more attention from the higher ups, to get slightly more provided leads. Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait for all my other coworkers to be f***ing losers and for me to be the big winner, the big boy. Established local reputation in the DFW roofing market? You know, that's an interesting claim to make because I just looked them up on Better Business Bureau. They are not BBB accredited, which you have to be a trusted and vetted company in order to be like accredited, in order to be like an accredited business, you know. I'm sure there's nothing fishy about that. There's also career advancement for top producers. I mean, no duh. You want your top talent to progress throughout the company. Otherwise, why would you like have them around? You're just gonna whip them around and have them be top talent without any growth? You know, that is a decent promise, at least, that there is growth for some sort of advancement, whether there is actually any or not. Fun work environment, while making great money with friendly people who you will secretly be in competition with each other. Well, actually, not even secretly. If there is more benefits for people who perform better at the job, how do you still be friendly with people at that point? How do you guarantee people are not going to have resentment towards each other? But then you may be asking, hey, what sets our top performers apart other than physical space? Well, they are self-starters who thrive on door-to-door lead generation. You will be knocking on the door to generate those leads, to just talk to people who just happen to be home. I just want you to imagine someone knocking on your door to talk to you, to sell you a service. Are you going to be open to that conversation? Because me personally, I'm going to say no, and I'm going to gently close the door in front of them while making full eye contact. They also have exceptional communication skills that build instant trust. Again, there's that emotional manipulation. Not only that, relentless motivation to exceed targets day after day after day after day. You have to go more than 100%, which is impossible, but they want that. Energy that doesn't quit from sunrise to sunset, ... Wait, okay, so hold on. This is supposed to be a list. There is no bullet points for these, and some of them end in a period and 2 periods. I feel like we're going to be here all day if we pick apart the grammar and the structure in this email. So I'm going to speed things up a bit and talk about the position. You will be the face of our company, identifying homeowners who need our premium roofing services through strategic neighborhood canvassing. From first impression to signed contract, you'll guide potential clients through our seamless sales process. It's so seamless, you have to be high energy and exceedingly excellent at communicating with people. It's just so seamless. It has advice. Don't just find a job. Build a lucrative career with unlimited earning potential. If you're ready to convert your drive and talent into serious income, We want to hear from you today. Call this dude, blah, blah, blah numbers. So far, it just seems like a weird, crappy, professional, door-to-door salesman kind of a position. There are some people that maybe do okay with those jobs. I don't think I would be that kind of person. I don't think I could live with myself because I don't want to talk to these people. Why would I want to be the kind of person that someone like me does not want to talk to? But here's where it gets weird. Under responsibilities, okay, I guess we have some other responsibilities other than trying to make a sale. Greet and seat guests in a friendly manner, ensuring they feel welcome. Take accurate food and drink orders using the POS system. Serve food and beverages promptly while maintaining high standards of presentation. I think you're seeing a problem here. This is for a busser or server, not for a sales professional. They got it mixed up. But how? How did you get this mixed up? If you're a recruiter for a sales, business professional, company, how do you get that mixed up with a restaurant? Those are two completely different industries. And for some reason, this was okayed by the solar company. This is what they want you to see. They were okay with this. I could understand everything from the first half, but this bottom half is inexcusable. I don't think anybody would be taking this job offer because of this ChatGPT generated list of responsibilities for the wrong type of job position. And also, none of this has to do with the acting. I know there are plenty of actors that start out their job funding their acting prospects, let's call it, with a retail job, a server job for a restaurant, just some sort of day job they can have while they look for gigs and opportunities on the side. How do you have time to be a door-to-door salesman while also being an actor? And also, that's going to be a really high turnover rate too. They're probably going to try and be an actor more than a sales professional because that's ultimately what they want to do. And if you care about that, why would you want someone who cares more about their side hustle than their, day job? Unless you were a company that cared more about results than, I don't know, employee retention. There are some companies like that. I have worked for some of those companies. They kind of grind out people after a year or so. Maybe not even that, because they know that they have a job that's easy enough or simple enough to train people that they could just put them in and they stay however long they want. And maybe there are promotional opportunities for these people, but they don't really care to keep all of their employees as long as they are making their targets for profits and such. Now, whether you want to work for a company like that long term, that's up to you. Oh, and there's an experience part right here, but that's just more server and busser types of stuff. And then down here, join us in delivering outstanding service while creating memorable experiences for our guests. Job type full-time. I know acting requires long stretches of times without auditions or opportunities. But again, why would you want that to be sales? And the pay here is absolutely just ridiculous. Okay, yeah, sure. The minimum you're going to be paid for a sales job that's going to churn you out and have you bang on doors all day, out in any kind of weather, I assume. Actually, I don't just assume, I expect this to be the kind of job that will force you to go out in any kind of weather condition just to sell people solar panels to put on their fucking roof. And I have nothing against solar paneling either, but 87,000 yearly? That's the minimum for selling people solar panels? And you're not exactly guaranteed I don't know, leads or whatever they call them? Up to 250,000, yeah, that's, because that's the math, 5,000 every week. That's around 260,000 per year gross. But what are the benefits, I hear you asking? A flexible schedule, paid training, and a referral program. Shifts include either 10-hour or 8-hour, but you're probably a go-getter that's going to be going beyond that, right? In conclusion, this is actually not a job offer. This is possibly a scam. And the reason that this works on some people, but not others, is that if you genuinely don't pay attention enough to grammar errors or spelling errors, I don't want to say that's a sign of your own intelligence. Like, I don't like calling people stupid, but like, it catches you off guard if you're not thinking too hard about these things, and that's how you end up in positions where someone is exploiting you or taking advantage of you. That's why, like, every single time you get an offer like this or an email like this, just please read it like 2 or 3 times all the way down. Because some of this seems like the person that curated this or wrote this just didn't care enough. And if they don't care enough to make basic edits, what else does that say about the company that okayed it? What else does that say about the person who might possibly be interviewing you? You know, think about that. And all I can say is that you really need to be careful if someone is approaching you and it seems like too good to be true, because you really have to be careful out there. I know you may be desperate. I know you may be wanting to do any kind of job just for some decent money, but really you don't. You don't want to do any kind of job. You want to do the right kinds of jobs. You want to get into a career or a job that you actually don't mind. And so you have to have some dignity, you know? You have to have a little bit of dignity. Otherwise, you're just going to end up in a place that you don't like, and you're going to feel very sorry and bad for yourself. So that's my advice to you. That's the end of this video. Good luck out there, and please just, if you're a recruiter, please proofread your stuff. And if you're a potential candidate for work, please read every single thing in the offer that you're given and make sure that it's like legit and doesn't have any red flags. So yeah, this has been Tongue High Dragon. I don't know if I'm gonna do anything else related to job offers and crazy stuff like this, but you know, it'll surely be interesting, so I'll see you then. Bye-bye.